legs. And the biggest thing is to learn how to hinge through your hips. So we want to be able to hinge through our hips without moving through our low back. So you're just going to slightly squeeze your abs like someone's going to punch you, and I'll call this the tail drill. So you're just going to push your butt back. If you go down too far, you lose your posture. I don't care how far down you go. Just push the butt back. You might feel a little stretch in your hamstrings. Okay? From there, we're going to do the same thing. Bells in between your feet. You're just going to reach down, squeeze your abs, stand on up. So this is starting to teach a deadlift, a squat variation. This is really safe position because it's close to your center of mass, close to the ground. Okay? If this becomes easy, you can start to do it with one arm. Let's suggest 3 sets of 10 of everything to start. So that's just your hip hinge. You can maybe mix in some upper body work. So I went from my lower body to some upper body. I can do just some basic push-ups. If you want to get a little bit more scap work, you can do push-up to arm lift. And you're trying to balance that glass of water on your low back. We can go back to the deadlift variation, or you can go into a kettlebell goblet squat. So you're just going to squeeze the bell, tuck your elbows underneath, and then once again pay attention to your back posture. So you're only going to go as low as you can. One, always feeling comfortable, and two, without arching or rounding your back. So this is a kettlebell goblet squat. Maybe you've done 2 sets of deadlifts and regular squats, and now you're going to do 2 sets of 10 goblet squats. So sorry, 2 sets of 10 deadlifts with push-ups, and then 2 sets of 10 goblet squats. And let's pair that with the inchworm walk. So your butt's high. It's a little silly, but I'm starting to take care of my ankles, my calves, my hamstrings, and I'm going to go backwards. And I'm trying to be up on my toes and slowly lower to strengthen my calves, hamstrings, and then my arms are right next to my ears, and this starts to look like me hitting an overhead shot. So I'm getting some good, strong overhead stability. We'll go back to that goblet squat. Okay, the goblet squat is really easy with 2 arms and 25 pounds. You're going to pick this bell up, hand goes in the crease, and your fist is right underneath your chin. This is called kettlebell rack position, and we can do a single arm squat. Okay, this rack position, it's key when you come up. This is not your resting position. That's resting in your low back. You always want to lean into the wind and feel your abs. Even just walking in the kettlebell rack position can be great exercise. So I might pause, I might check, am I hanging out my low back, or am I leaning into the wind, feeling my abs? So you can just walk from one side of the house to the other with the kettlebell in the rack position, and then switch hands, bring it up, and do some kettlebell walks. This is some great core work. If you're gonna carry the baby out here, the stroller and everything else, you gotta have good enough core. We even do these farmer's walks with one arm. So some really basic, just carrying the bell around the house can start to get some core forearm grip work. So let's go deadlifts and push-ups, 2 sets of 10. And then we'll go into the goblet squat, 2 sets of 10, paired with your inchworm, butt high, ears right next to your biceps, forward and back. Take as much rest, but most importantly, make sure your posture's good. You're not too arched, you're not too flexed. Everything's just hinging at those hips. It's a great drill to do the tail drill, which is going to be a prelude into our kettlebell swing. This becomes a real powerful movement, so you can start to train power, and also the more powerful you come, now you start to become more powerful on the court, and energy-wise, you're expending a lot more calories faster and more efficient eventually.